richest man. So I told somebody that that was a wrong thing to do. And he said, "Are you jealous of him? Uh, why would he not?" And I said, Elon Musk is never referred to as world's richest man, or Jeff Bezos. Or Elon Musk today launched Sputnik or whatever spaceship going to Jupiter. Elon Musk, Africa's world's richest man. You just say Elon Musk, everybody knows him, except they're in another planet. And they probably know him if they're from another planet. You don't hear Jeff Bezos, oh, world's second richest man. Today launched 20 Amazon distribution centers for fulfillment centers. So that's superfluous. And we got into a slanging match. And I had to call his attention to how Aliko Dangote got rich, since he did not inherit from his. He was a cement contractor, just like other contractors in Lagos. He was no better. But the resources were cornered for him. He received exclusive rights to import cement. You could go to sleep doing that. If you have the import license in Nigeria to bring in unlimited number of bags of cement, and the Nigerian Industrial Development Bank has already been set up for you to have access to unlimited sums of money. You could get rich like that. You could get, crazy rich just by doing that. If you're a vulcanizer and you receive that import license, you have access to that bank. And they do not base it based on your shop in Oju Elegba. They just open a line of credit for you that is unlimited. You get rich. And that's not the only way he got rich. The Sokoto Cement Company, the cement company of northern Nigeria in Sokoto, men in Agbada, people who studied history and public administration,
Yes.
who can't spell, were put in positions of power to make decisions in a multi-million-dollar business. And as typical of anything that Fulani puts their finger on, they eat it to the ground. It's like you unleash a horde of goats on a field. By the time you come back in a week, there'll be nothing, no grass standing. That's what Fulani is known for. They wrecked the company, and the federal government sold it to him at pennies on the dollar. They gave him money to revitalize it. A
You
federal
mean the
license.
government, after selling the company to him, gave him money to revitalize it?
Yes, gave him money to
So,
revitalize it.
so the company was handed to him on a platter of gold, not because he did anything.
He did not do anything wonderful. He
Wow.
was not smarter than any other person. And
Wow.
then, while we at that, we used to have a national freight company. They were painted green, white, green, 18-wheelers, over 5,000 of them, long haul vehicles.
Yes.
They mismanaged it and sold it to him at pennies on the dollar and gave him money to revitalize them. If you have the cement, you have the factory, and you have the trial, tell me how in the blinkety blankety blank you will not be rich. Tell me. Tell me. And this
So,
is what they have done with our economy.
yes.
And this person challenged me. that government patronage is all over, all over the world is government patronage. And that Elon Musk, as a matter of fact, gets government patronage. I said, no. Elon Musk wrote code and set up PayPal, made money from PayPal, was able to galvanize the interest of investors, and set up Tesla at a time when the idea was mind-blowing of electric cars. And Americans pre-ordered years in advance. They pre-ordered the vehicles years in advance.
Wow.
I remember the first one I saw. I looked at it and there were nose prints on the window with people trying to peep into the car to see what is in the, how it looks like in the car. So he wrote code, set up PayPal, sold PayPal, set up Tesla, used money from from
Tesla.
Tesla to set up SpaceX, and then convinced the US government not to use the Russian Federation to ferry its payload to the International Space Station, that he can do it. He did not get government patronage until he became rich. Aliko Dangote was handed Nigeria. And there are many like him. That's not the Nigeria we want. That's the Nigeria we are fighting against. Nigeria being a country of personality.
Yeah, we hear that he's so intolerant of competition, and any person who competes with him sinks. They receive all kinds of blackmail and attack, and eventually they cave in and they lose their investment.
He's not intolerant of competition. He has access to coercive force.
Hmm.
He has access to threaten you and bring it to happen, to
Yeah,
be able to
but
make it happen.
now what is the difference between that and intolerance?
Well, you can be intolerant without ability. He can back his ability up because they control Nigeria's access to coercive force.
So, can you say that this same antique he used to corner the cement business in Nigeria was the same thing he used to corner the oil business? You see, the country's four refineries are down right now, and suddenly only his own sprang up, and is directly in charge of the country's economy by way of that, because the oil accounts for 90% of what drives the nation's economy.
Let me tell you this. The people on whose terrain that oil was siphoned, was drilled from, they can't fish in their ponds.
Yes.
They cannot ply their waterways. They can't drink their water. Their arable land is done for at least a good number of centuries before they can plant on it. If I catch anybody in that area dancing on TV, dancing, I will put my foot in there where the sun doesn't shine. There is no reason why we should not be fighting for level playing field in Nigeria. You see, Nigerians, they are able to die in their multitudes in the desert trying to get away from Nigeria, in the sea trying to get away from Nigeria. But they are not willing to stake their life for the betterment of their own country. Anybody who has no reason for which they will die does not have any reason for which they should live.
Absolutely. You know, you raised a very important uh, question right here. I was thinking about that question silently, but I didn't think this forum was going to be a place where I will ask that question. I was trying to condense that question into an essay that will hopefully attract national attention. You see, the pattern of migration in Nigeria, the migration of our young people outside Nigeria. It is happening only in the south of Nigeria. The young people from the south of the country are moving away in droves outside the shores of Nigeria to Libya, Morocco, and all those North African countries from where they find themselves using raft boat, passing through the wild Mediterranean, and end up in Italy and other parts of Europe, where they are kept in concentration camps and fed dog foods as if they are animals. Now, coming inside Nigeria, there is a new type of migration, internal migration from, from the north of Nigeria uh, to villages in the south of the country. You see them in huge numbers. So, do you think that this is a deliberate twisting and turning of our economy that will drive some people out to create a vacuum that some people from inside will occupy from where they are committing the mayhem they are committing in Nigeria today? Have you
It's
ever thought about that?
nefarious. It's nefarious,
Yes.
and for a long time in Nigeria, there were never mosques in government premises, in government offices. Nigerians started building prayer places in government, you know, uh, property, on government property, and everybody wanted to outpray the other. If you ask Nigerians, they will tell you, "Oh, God has been good to me." How can God be good to you and be bad to Nigeria? And all of it is this mentality that they have of foreign religion. These people who are coming from all that north, far north, we have an immigration service. You can tell who they are when you see them. They don't look like us. They
Yes.
don't have any skills. The ones that are not threatening are beggars. The Nigerian immigration has never arrested them. Try to open a factory and you see an immigration officer set out to build a hotel, a short time hotel, more like a brothel out of it, because they will frustrate your expatriate quota until you literally cause the day you are there, that you were born. Those people who we see, they were never, checked out for who they are. They're not even the dangerous ones. The dangerous ones are the fifth columnists in the forest, the ones that kidnap our people for ransom, that shoot at them. You ask, how do they get these motorcycles, which they use to terrorize Hausa populations? In the south, they use it to kidnap, to kill. They come out, hold up the road, they are armed. How do they get the arm? What type of government cannot say or trace how the arms are coming? Where Nigeria is headed is the rocks. There will be a conflagration someday that some people will have a hard time escaping. Mark my words, the Nigerian army is not competent enough to. A guerrilla movement has not yet sprung up to face them. If it was done in Cuba, if Che Guevara was able to do it in Latin America, why can it not be done in Nigeria? Because our army, they are just the gatekeepers of corruption. We are like a, what do you call it, an occupied nation. Our army is not there for us.
No, I don't believe. I don't believe that the Nigerian army is an army of the Nigerian people. The army has been complicit, fighting alongside the terrorists. You know, they have been caught not once, not twice, not three times, more than five times in combat with the nicely called bandits, but we know are terrorists. They have been
And
caught.
the journalists who address them as
Yes,
bandits ought to be ashamed of themselves. What do they need to become terrorists? For them to tie a bandana, a band on their hair like Hamas before they become terrorists? You
that
ask people, you term people who are 150 to 200 deep, armed with all kinds of weapons. You call them bandits.
sad, sad. All right, uh, we're going to come back to those details. Now, since the past few years, there has been this progressive massacre of Nigerians on the highways, in villages across Nigeria by Dangote trucks. It's heavy duty lorries that will ram into gatherings, unalive or kill people, Nigerians, and nobody is held accountable. In fact, just yesterday in Enugu, another one happened. The previous day, I think there was two. One happened at Auchi, another one happened somewhere in is it Ekiti or Ondo State, one of those places. Beautiful young souls are being slaughtered by Dangote trucks, like a rogue on the highway, moving rogues on the highway. What's up with all this? How come that there is no government policy to curb him? And every time it happens, it is Dangote trucks. We don't hear so much about other trucking companies um, being involved in this type of fatal accident. What's going on?
Because they have impunity. They have been told that they can get away with, they are not personally liable. Whereas Nigeria's law provides that you can sue the driver jointly and severally with not only him, but also his principal. But it's not just suing him. If the bird has learned to fly without perching, then the hunter must learn to shoot without missing. If they will just do that, then maybe people may resort to other means to stop them. If you kill people and you move and you don't stop, let the people at the forward location present you with a Molotov cocktail. And then when that begins to happen, then they can begin to respond to law and order. We cannot, like me now, In a few months, I'll be 69 years old. There is nothing that I want to do to satisfy my conscience, to right a wrong, that I will have to think twice before doing it. You can't take people's rights away and trample on it, and they do nothing. They must learn to put their own life on the line. The people that hurt you, and if the government will not adjudicate justiciably on the matter, you take it in your own hands. You have to bring justice to yourself. If the government will not do it, at least due process. Due process. Here, if there is an accident, here in America,
Yes.
that lane will be closed. There will be a thorough investigation. How did
Absolutely.
this happen? Was there a brake failure? Were there other vehicles that were involved who left the scene? Who are the eyewitnesses? Everything stops until that matter is properly investigated. Nigeria has been called the zoo. We can't have people who are supposedly literate with phones in their hands and everything, who know right from wrong, but will not insist for right for themselves. I mean, nobody is going to walk through those doors and give it to them. The people in Iraq, the mighty US Army, has more arsenal than the Nigerian Army. They refuse that, no, we will not allow you to take over our country. And America tried all it could. It became a very expensive enterprise. That can also happen in Nigeria. It's just that they have divided Nigeria on the basis of religion, Muslim and Christian. And they use that to fool the Hausa for so many years, decades. But the Fulani made the worst mistake of their life. They started attacking their backbone, which is Hausa. They will seize a mosque with people praying inside, trap the doors, and set it on fire. They will hold up buses and set the buses on fire with the people inside. All kinds of heinous crimes that, you cannot imagine.
Now,
There is, yeah, okay,
oh,
go ahead.
yes. You pointed out something that here in the United States, where you and I live, the smallest accident is investigated. By any chance, do you know that Nigeria has something close to the Department of Public Safety or the Department of Motor Vehicle, especially?
You call them the Department of Yellow Fever. The Department of Yellow Fever, who just, who frisk, all they do is just shakedowns. They take money from people, ask you for documents and so on. Investigations will include how many hours has this guy been awake? How long has he been awake? Was he on any drugs? Here, road haulers are required to take a break and show evidence that they have slept every 8 hours. You just can't drive through and then lose control. And you say Nigeria is not a zoo, a country where everybody knows all the right thing, but nobody does it. Everybody is just, we thrive in chaos. If you have lived here for about 35 years, like me, and have become used to seeing order, once you spot disorder in Nigeria, you are like inflamed. You're like, why would human beings do this? And that is the thing. I'm perpetually unhappy with Nigeria.
Listeners from Nigeria, Nigerians, I know you are sleeping. It's 11:51 p.m. here. That is 5:51 a.m. in Nigeria. We had to delay this program to make an opportunity for you to watch this live stream. And we made a lot of push on this so you understand basically what is happening to your country. Yes, we have to stay up to do this. It's about midnight here, and it's about early morning there. I'm hoping that if you miss it now, you should be able to watch this presentation when you wake up. It is a must watch. It's very, very important. It's not about what we want or anybody wants. It's about a country, the country we love so much, that is being run aground by less than, I don't think they're up to 20,000 people doing this to us, at least at the leadership level. I understand. Um,
But you know, yes,
yes.
sir. So I
Go
know
ahead.
these people. I
Yeah.
know these people very well.
Oh, yes.
If anybody can claim it, I claim that I was secretary for the Kaduna Mafia for 11 years.
Yes. Hey,
Yes,
go ahead. We
secretary for
lost
the
you
Kaduna
temporarily.
Mafia.
Yes.
Yes, for
So
11
what about
years.
you said you were secretary to Kaduna Mafia. The Kaduna
Yes.
Mafia was dreaded in Nigeria at some time. So you were a
No,
secretary to the
no, no, no,
Kaduna
no, no, no,
Mafia.
no, 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 no.
No,
See,
tell
what
us.
is
Nigerians are listening to you.
the Kaduna Mafia is not a sinister organization.
Well, that was the
It
impression we
was
had then about them.
no, yes, that's what people say.
Yes.
This was a group of elite people who were educated,
Yes.
who wanted opportunities for the North, who were very willing to work with people from the South. They were not nefarious. Their leader, the first Aliko Mohammed, Aliko Misau Mohammed, then
Mhm.
Ian Misau, he was chairman of the Bank of the North for over 20 years, didn't take a penny from Bank of the North, didn't enrich himself from Bank of the North. It was Aliko Mohammed, it was Aminu Tijani, it was Liman Jibrilu, it was Machido Mohammed, it was Astajam Akilu. Astajam Akilu, Helen Astajam Akilu, is the sister of A.D. Bello, Abdullahi Dominic Bello, the first chief of air staff for Nigeria.
Mm.
They were originally Christians. Astajam married Ali Akilu, who was the Sultan of Sokoto's Secretary of Government. So they have clout. When you go there, you will see Mohammed of Union Bank.
Mm.
I've forgotten all their names now. It's 35 years.
It's been a while.
But, but all of them, every Friday, congregated at number 3 Sultan Close in Kaduna in the home of Aliko Mohammed. And I was his personal assistant. And everything they did, whoever was important in the north, in Kaduna, I knew him. I met him, spent tens, if not hundreds of hours with him over the period of a decade.
Mm.
So, because I speak Hausa, and because they found me very trustworthy, they conducted their business. Oh, it's not like, okay, you leave and we will hold this meeting. No. I will be the one who will draw up the minutes and they vet them, whether it's a circular resolution or whatever. 120 boards, or 8 multinationals.
Hmm. Wow.
So
Wow.
I know how their mind works, but that is not it. I went to Army Children's School, Kaduna. I was a town boy, a township boy. It's not like as a kid. I played soccer with Domkat Bali when he was a second lieutenant. I knew Obasanjo when he was a captain. His first car in his whole life was a Triumph. It's a small car like Anglia. It's a small British car that's called, I don't know if they make the Triumph. That was his car.
Hmm.
So when the coup happened, I too was in Kaduna and was conversant with the patrol of army. That was when the army was still civil. Back in the days when the army was still civil.
Yes.
And then when the war broke up, I got beaten, chased out of training centers over and over and over. I would run away from home, join the train, travel to Enugu, get rejected. Enugu fell, travel to Akanano, get rejected. Vandal forces continue to push Biafran forces up to Zakali, get rejected over and over until finally Rangers Guerrilla Regiment, which was set up to mirror the skills that Laz Njoko, Major Chukwuman Zogu's intelligence officer, 5th Battalion Biafran Army,
Yes.
was asked to set up by the Biafran High Command. I became his batsman.
Wow.
I was never engaged in combat, but I went to school in the town. I was literate in English. My father was a chef. I grew up with white kids. I could speak and write it very well, better than the average kid. And I saw every sit rep, which they call situation reports,
Hmm.
whether it's coming from headquarters to TAC headquarters to the forward line and back. As the war, however, the war was conducted, today there was a publication how Owerri fell. Owerri fell twice. Owerri fell in 1968 when Vandal forces got as far as Enyogugu before Raiders Battalion put them on a tailspin. And that was the battalion that I am in. And we
Wow.
chased them back to back to back to back to back to back until we had Port Harcourt in our sights. If it was not what happened during the last 3 days of 1969, beginning from the 27th of December, 28th, by 29th, Nigerian forces had reached Ahera Junction, which is the midpoint between Owerri, Aba, and Umuahia. In that place, that was where the Ahera Declaration was done.
Yes.
When they finally reached there, cutting off the Biafran forces on the Aba Opala axis, everything was lost. We, on the flank going towards Port Harcourt, were cut off.
Hmm.
People threw away their uniforms, took their underwear, cut a hole in it, and wore their underwear as shirts to not show anything that you are a Biafran soldier.
Wow. But what
So
happened? What led to that?
It was a break, a break in military tactics. They were outflanked, outmaneuvered, cut off from their supply lines.
Okay, yeah. Hmm.
And the war, nobody saw it coming. It just ended in 5 days. So I don't look at Nigerian army or look at Nigeria or look at Nigerians with any eye as to anything. I know them. I see them. I went to school in March 1980. I went to Aquinas College, Akure. It's the most elite Catholic school in Western region. We were the prominent school, not what you call it, Loyola College, Ibadan, not some great St. Gregory's, Lagos. It was Aquinas College, Akure. So I've lived in a Yoruba dormitory. When you live in the dormitory, you know how the Yoruba mind works. I know how the Hausa mind works. I know how the Fulani mind works. Nobody can tell me anything about Nigeria.
Hmm. Wow. Interesting. Interesting. Now, do you have any hope for the survival of Nigeria beyond these few years into the 21st century?
See, for me, I'm not a praying man. I follow Ahiajoko, Chukwu Okike, creator of existence, who
Yes.
has no son, no daughter, no relative, no partner, no messenger, no prophet, because he has given us uche, will, the power and ability to decide, to discern right and wrong. What I am saying is that if I was a praying man, I would say Nigerians must pray for the life of Kaltume Alembe Jitami. Kaltum Alembe Jitami,
Yes.
the Hausa woman who has been galvanizing Hausa against Fulani. Yoruba are fence sitters. They sit on the fence to see who will win between Fulani and Igbo. And then they will join. They are very willing to be, runners up. Yoruba cannot rescue Nigeria. Yoruba will join Fulani to make sure that Igbo does not come up. Igbo has a daunting task. The only, the only way out for Nigeria is for Hausa to cast off the yoke that Fulani placed on their back, from which they have hog-tied Nigeria and put us to roast.
Somebody.
Unless Hausa overthrows Fulani, Nigeria will not see daylight. Anybody who has any interest in the survival of Nigeria must support Hausa.
Okay. Before we move forward, hey, listeners, we are here gathered again, just as we were a few days ago with Mr. Charles Ugwumba, a very, very expansively knowledgeable Nigerian, and a man who has been yearning for a greater Nigeria, a man who, at the age of 12, put his life on the line, asking a question, the same question we are asking today, why Nigeria is not moving forward. There's a young lady who sent you a question here. Her name is Sexy Queen. He said, please, sir, can't or won't it be good if you talk about the future? I mean, we are in 2025. Oh my God, how can we move on when we are still back dreaming? Can you address that young lady?
Well, they took away history. They made
Yes.
Nigerians forget their past. Sometimes we will bring our past just so that we know where we came from and where we are headed. The only way we can head to any positive direction, the only way that it will not be more of the same, vote Atiku, El Rufai, is the same thing, worse, because nothing in Nigeria gets better. Things get gradually worse, like for let's say, and then gradually, and then gradually, when they start their corner side, pass, yonder, ni. So that is what it is. The only way Nigeria survives is Hausa recovering their kingdoms from Fulani, turning those emirs' palaces into Hausa museums of culture. That is the only way we move forward. It's not going to be Igbo. We cannot move forward when more and more terrorists are being brought from outside Nigeria, Bambara into Nigeria. How can we move forward? They are attacking Hausa. We must help Hausa because Fulani they have tasted money. The money, you know what they call easy money in America, right? Like security job. You just sit down and watch. They call it easy money. Fulani has tasted money. You know, in America, if you're a security man, you're not supposed to arrest anybody. You're just supposed to watch the crime and report. That's all. And easy money. Fulani has tasted easy money. They know they can rake in millions from taking Hausa, kidnapping them for ransom, holding up commuters on the street for ransom. Except we help Hausa take back their rights from Fulani, there is no forward for Nigeria. And you can quote me on that.
Okay, thank you very much. Let me add something to what you said. Hey, Cecil Queen, I don't know how old you are. There's one thing that we know that is standard. If you know your history, then you would know where you're coming from, and it helps you chart a direction towards your destination. It is very, very important. That is why we keep talking about our history, because a lot, for no fault of theirs, the younger generation of Nigerians have been denied access to their history, and it's not a mistake. It was done on purpose to keep them um, uninformed, to keep them ignorant, and to keep them ambivalent about uh, decisions to take action to save themselves, save their generation, and save their future and the future of the country. So, and I want to make a suggestion to you. I don't know how much you have known, the history of Nigeria. If you want to understand the clear history of Nigeria, you must go back to 1914. All right, that is where you start tracing the story of Nigeria, and you see a lot of markers that points us in the direction of where we are right now. In 1914, there was an amalgamation treaty signed, and how many people signed that treaty? Oh, there were only six persons who became from what became later became Nigeria, and those six persons, I want to itemize them, where they come from, the demography of their origin. Two of them were Fulanis. One of them later became a Sultan of Sokoto. Now, another one was the Shehu of Borno, all right? And then another one was the Obong of Calabar, all right? And you see the connection. And then another one was, two other ones were Yorubas. The first Yoruba lawyer and another traditional ruler. I'm not sure about which particular traditional ruler is. But if you look at what is taking place in Nigeria, you see, these people have an established relationship that has become generational. At every twist and turn in Nigeria history, you find them there. Their generations. I am not saying that it's the whole Fulanese or the whole Yoruba, but you see elements from these families that were signatories to this evil that they call Nigeria, the amalgamation treaty that was supposed to have expired in 2014. It was a 100-year amalgamation treaty to help Nigerians see if they could get along. But sadly, only 6 persons, two Fulanis, two Yorubas, one Kanuri, and one Efik. Yes. And you know how many tribal nationalities make up Nigeria? Over 350. So where were the other ones? There was no Hausa represented. There was no Igbo represented. There was no Urobo represented. There was no Ikaro represented. There
No
was no
Nupe.
Angas. There was no
No.
Igede. There was no Idoma. There was no Tiv. And then these people signed on behalf of all of us. You see the mess that Nigeria is. And this is why we must know the history of Nigeria. Because if you don't know, you will think that what you know is best. And you will not give the other person the opportunity to listen. So you hear them out. And then so we can forge a way out of our country. These
And this
people do not
military,
want the country to move forward. That is why they are shooting up our country. Yes.
our military continues. They revoked Nigeria constitution, expanded powers for themselves, used coercive force to make Nigerians adopt it, as if we all adopted it. It was a Fulani military takeover of Nigeria. Since 1970, the Nigerian constitution has been changed by the military so many times until Nigeria is. That is how they put in these executive provisions where people steal money to their heart's contents and walk away, fighting, laughing, and nothing happens. And then
Absolutely.
they leave some of you to steal whatever you can. Whatever you can, those are crumbs. After, they don't care about that. And if you try to make any noise, they arrest you and charge you for the crumbs that you stole.
Good, good. Somebody, let me address this person. Hey, let me see this. This is Rosemary Njadho. I hope I pronounce your name right. Thank you very much for joining us from the UK. And Adeniyi Ogundimu, you asked what the new generation wants is a country without tribal identity. Absolutely, but of competence and dedication. Yeah, we share in this, and that is exactly what Mr. Ugwumba has been emphasizing, and that is what I believe in. I don't believe in tribe. I don't care about any tribe. The tribe has not done us any well, and they are guaranteed not to do us any good. If America was happen on tribalism, I don't think we who come from outside the United States will be accepted. And then you need to see us when we are raging for every little thing that they say. Oh, they discriminate against me because I'm African, because I'm black man. Something that we cannot even do in Nigeria. Nigeria does not give us the opportunity to do that, but we're able to stand on a breakable place here and demand for our rights. And you know what? We'll get those rights. So I love your position, Mr. Denny. You know, you are one of those. When I hear people like you, like, something from people like you, I feel so great, especially at a time when in Nigeria, some people are asking fellow Nigerians to leave Lagos because they say Lagos is for the Yorubas. Lagos is supposed to be a city, a Nigerian city, open to all Nigerians. Now, what does it make somebody like me, who is from the Niger Delta, feel? I feel angry that, okay, the oil from my Niger Delta was used to build Lagos, build Abuja, and build all the state capitals, and driving the nation's economy. So where do you put me? You put me on the edge to want to burn the country down. Yeah, for this kind of statements. So, man, I love you. I love what you just said. I really appreciate this. You know, this this is one of those things that makes the day. Somebody else asked one question that I need to quickly address before we continue, Mr. Gumba. He said, kindly, okay, that's then he kindly inform the new listeners about the show. Yeah, the show is an expansive show. We call it Nigeria Now at ONN. And what we talk about issues around Nigeria, issues of our past that is impacting our present and impinging on our future, issues arising from unnecessary dichotomy, the distortion of what Nigeria is supposed to be because of the greed of some of its elites, who found the embers of religion, found the embers of tribalism and regional nationalism. Also, so in this particular case, we're looking at Aliko Dangote, how he became rich, and Mr. Gumba stated it. It's left for you to agree with us that he did not really work harder than some of us, to be so stupendously rich as he is. He's a child of the Nigerian system, working with the insiders who do damage to Nigerians, and then he cashes on it, and then he makes all the money out of it. Looking at the latest is his acquisition, his total takeover of the entire oil industry. After Mili Kiari was put well positioned to destroy the industry, destroy 4 refineries, and made them not to work. And all of a sudden, Dangote's refinery is taking over the whole of Nigeria. I don't know if you share in that sentiment. It's something to think about. So, Mr. Ogumba, let us continue. Let's go back to this issue of what is Dangote is using his trucks to do to Nigerians. What do you think? If you are to make a recommendation to the Nigerian government or the Nigerian people, what they should do to stem the tide of this nonsense that is taking place. He does this. His drivers are mostly untrained. The latest one, they said the driver did not even have a driver's license. Somebody who is driving a corporate vehicle for a company as big as the Dangote conglomerate. What do you think that Nigeria as a country should do to stop this nonsense from happening? And that not only is his trucks killing Nigerians, his trucks are reason part of the reason Nigerian roads have been destroyed. Everywhere they go, they destroy it. Very destructive. Do you think they should create a pathway for them or make him to pay money to fix Nigerian roads? Because that man is causing a lot of damage to Nigerian roads.
We have bigger fish to fry than that. Dangote is just a speck, the Nigeria's problem is just convoluted. It has it's like an octopus with a million arms. When they say tribe of origin, it means that if you're a Nigerian citizen, you have no right in Kaduna, literally. You
Yes.
can't apply for a federal job in Kaduna State. You can't apply to Kaduna government for work. And you're a Nigerian. And that government, its budget comes from oil money, which came from another section of the country. There are so many things that Islam and Christianity and the intention of Islam to supersede, they make this. There is so many things that Sokoto has put into effect that we cannot untangle Nigeria except we dismantle Sokoto. There is nothing. Dangote is not even a problem in Nigeria. We have more
No, but
problems.
we are talking about the loss of lives that is
We
taking
are
place
loss
very
of life. What
frequently.
about those that are going to be killed before morning in terrorism? Tell
Absolutely, I
me,
agree with you.
if somebody was abducted in a California city today, an all points bulletin will go out and they will be on the lookout for this person everywhere. His credit card, his addresses that he has lived, the people he has called, where he can take refuge, everything. They'll be looking for him. So the people that Dangote's vehicle kill, they are just a spit in the bucket compared to the people who will lose their life tonight for terrorism. We have more problem than that. And the whole crux of our problem is Sokoto Caliphate, the emirship, the rulership of Hausa. We must dismantle it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, um, the process, there's a lot of rebellion coming from the Hausa angle of this. And I know there are a lot of Hausa young men and women uh, that are reacting right now. Now, if you were to advise Nigerians about the strategic importance of supporting the liberation of the Hausa people, how will you con it? How will you talk to them in a manner that it will make
When
sense to them?
somebody,
Because in the past, when anything is happening in any part of the country, they will say, "Now they are let them carry and they do." They don't understand the concept of that we are in this country, just like you and I understand about the United States. That whenever anything is happening in anywhere in the U.S., it becomes a national problem. How are you going to be able to get Nigerians to connect emotionally to their country in a manner that they will take anything happening in their country, whether it is within their immediate vicinity or elsewhere? How are you going to make them see reason to take this country as theirs that they should protect?
you know, sometimes I see videos of Hausa women whose husbands have been killed, their children have been killed, and they go berserk. They don't know what to do. They lose it. When they wail, my heart bleeds. No, I'm yet to see somebody who has faced the business end of an AK twice and live to tell the story. Because this is what they are up against. They can't go to their farms. They abduct them, marry off their children. You don't, just do with them what they want. And the Nigerian press, championed by Yoruba, continue to call it, oh, bandits. They were bandits. And the nobody will speak up and say that. If you see anybody like this program tonight, if anywhere on the comments you hear, oh, you are talking nonsense, check him out. He's Fulani. It's not Hausa. It's Fulani. Hausa have become aware. They've become very, very aware. I want to see whether they will be able to execute their awareness at the polls, because we need to try and take back Nigeria. Although, even if we take it back, they will revert again to Christian Muslim. I almost became a Muslim because, no, seriously, at its finest, Tuba, which is surrender to God, that is when something happens to you, you leave it for God.
Yeah.
You leave it for God. The people who imbibed Islam, the true Islam, is Hausa. A real Hausa man, even if you offend him, is very forgiving. He will look at you like you don't know what you are doing. If you had known better, you would not do what you did. The people who incite them is Fulani. So, because of the way religion has become useless in Nigeria, it has, you know how many times one Hausa man will pray for 2.5 hours a day. Let's take 5 times, 30 minutes each. That's 2.5 hours. If there are 100 Muslims, praying 2.5 hours a day each. If there are 100 million Muslims praying 2.5 hours, that's 250 million hours a day. When have you seen prayer has done anything for Nigeria, which we hold? This is a fraud. It's nothing but a fraud. Foreign religion. Wallahi, this in the Kaza, all that is fraud. Show me where Wallahi can buy you a plate of rice. I don't want anybody to, if it's, Makachuku, get out of here. Mm. Oh, Jesus. So our problems are just uncountable, but it has only one solution. We must help Hausa overthrow Fulani. Then we will start a long, probably another 50 years before we can right Nigeria. Because it's easy to tear down. For us to build back Nigeria, it's going to be tough. If I wasn't on this program, I am getting ready tonight to divvy up my, tomorrow is Friday, to divvy up the little money I have to the people I maintain in Kaduna, in Katsina, and so on and so forth. To the school I run for them.
Yes.
I don't eat Nigerian food. I don't wear their clothes. I don't listen to their music because it's a fraudulent country. Everything about them is nothing's right. Those who are making money in Nigeria, they have some way. They are bought into the system to survive in the system, to be crooked in the system, because nothing in Nigeria is fair and square.
So if I invite you to Houston, you come to Houston, you will not eat my Nigerian food. Are you serious? I will tell them to deport you back.
I bought a packet of plantain flour,
Yes.
designed package, everything and so on.
Yes.
I opened it, it wasn't plantain.
Oh. Oh my God.
It said plantain. You
No, I
buy
don't eat.
Gary.
I don't eat all those
You,
one the
so,
process
so
from there.
or
Yes.
you buy Gary, you see rat dropping in it. I did that 40 years ago when I'm in Nigeria. I can't, no, I like myself better than that. My life is too precious to be eating bad food.
Absolutely. 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 Now, there was a question I asked you the other time. Um, I'm going to ask you that same question again. A few weeks ago, somebody sent me this bill that was sent to the National Assembly. The bill was raised by one Bako, um, about yes, about making Saad Abubakar the fake Fulani Sultan in Sokoto and the Oni of Ife, the permanent co-chairman of Nigerian Traditional Rulers Council, permanent. And you and I know who.
That right there is a leak spit.
Yes.
That bako is a leak spirit.
Yes.
You know, like how the British people is leak spirit. You
Yes.
know, he's playing to the gallery.
Yes.
Nigerian
I
has
know.
more problem than that.
Yes. He was sent by
The
Tinubu to do
worst
that.
the worst
Yeah.
is that sometimes in stadiums you watch a section of the stadium, everybody with red cap sheeps, you know, we're tying wrapper and so on, trying to appear dignified. How can you be dignified when you have no right? What are you achieved for? And these are people who did not become anything until after 1918. This person, these two people who are fighting over land to court, it became because he's closer to the white man. He became, they made him a chief. He becomes a chief. Now they be no traditional ruler, autonomous community, HRH, His
HRH.
Royal
Oh,
Highness.
Royal Majesty.
Uh-huh. And
They
somebody
now carry umbrella, big
then
umbrella.
you and that's bullshit.
Now, question, Ogumba, Dr. Ogumba. You know, I can call you any title I like. Now, America, you and I have been in America. You've been in America for 35 years. I've been here 29 years. Actually, this month is my month. My Mayflower ship arrived on 15th of September. I think I'm, I'm going to have to celebrate that day. not the one, not the one driven by what's that Christopher Columbus, the greatest liar. You know, I came here 1996. So I'll be 29 years on the 15th of this month here in the United States. You've been here longer than me, 35 years. That's no joke. 35 plus 29. You see the loss Nigeria has incurred right there because you are an exceptional person. And I know what I represent too. You can imagine these two forces working inside Nigeria progressively and selflessly. We are not looking for money from anybody. We are not trying to con anybody for money. We just want the good of our country. But you and I receive a lot of resistance. In fact, they see you, they want to even shoot you, shoot me. I receive death threats every day from those with connection to Saad and all that. But I have told him he's going to be the last Sultan in Sokoto or whatever. I don't recognize, it's not a traditional ruler in the first place. So
No,
it's an
Hausa people give him a good title. They
yeah.
call him Sarkim Fulani in
Sorry,
Sokoto.
Kabulani. Okay.
They don't call him Sarkim Musulmi. They call
Okay.
him Sarkim
Sorry,
Fulani.
Kabulani.
Yes, that's what they call him now. They don't call him
Now,
Sarkim Fulani,
the question is
Sarkim Musulmi anymore.
yes, good. And that's exactly what it is. It's, if not, it's not no who coronated him a traditional ruler. No, it's not a traditional ruler. Yeah, but they found a way to muzzle those people in their knot, fake knot. You know, thank God that knot is dying right now. It's gone. Not, it's not going to ever resurrect. Now, having lived here in the United States, having seen how the democracy flows, even if it's not the best, do you think we need traditional rulers in Nigeria? What use are they? What good do they do for anybody?
We see, we can't stop Nigerians from their foolishness. We will just refuse to recognize those people and treat them ordinary. Talk down to them. When you are talking to them, you disrespect. You know, when you address them with with disrespect. If you meet them in person, you address them ordinarily. You don't give them that oxygen that they want. You know, that clout that they want. You look at them with disdain. And if you want, you can even abuse them too.
Yeah,
You know,
the reason
uh,
the reason I ask is in the interest of the public. For me, I've already put them where they belong. They are nuisance. They can't do anything for me. They can't do. They are not doing anything. But they are obstacles to growth and development and the workings of democracy in Nigeria. That's why I put that question to you. You know.
they are all living on bribes for settling local squabbles or whatever, depending on the magnitude of the squabble and of their office. they are all of them. They are just corrupt people. So when you see them, just treat them with disdain. We can't say even if we want to, if we say that we don't want traditional rule, that's just hot air. Nigerians want, because Nigerians are always aggrandized. Every Nigerian you see even here in the diaspora, in the first 10, attend any Nigerian meeting, in the first 5 or 10 minutes, you see some people want to size you to know how much money you have, how big is your house, or whatever, whatever. And I don't buy into any of them because I have what I think that can just shut them up. And, they would, no matter what they do, I have what will shut them up.
Wow.
I did
Now,
not I did not get on this program early enough because my son is leaving for China. He's a big shot in design at Apple's design center. He's going to China. And I was talking with him. I couldn't get on. The other one is making medicines that extend human life. I mean, real medicines,
wow.
where his investment is in over 50 companies. Over 50 companies, anywhere from tens of millions to hundreds of millions of dollars. When Walmart, not Walmart, Walton Enterprises chooses you as a partner, not as an employee.
Wow.
So I don't reckon with Nigerians. Whether I have money or I don't have money or anything, I don't look at it. I don't see any Nigeria. They're nothing to me. I was running boards of organizations, led a team of 6, running 120 companies, 8 of which were multinationals. King Wilkinson, that built Kaduna Refinery, I was secretary to the board. I've been dealing in receiver managerships, in liquidations. I've had boards, fire management, and I run it for several months until new management is identified and hired, put in place. There is nothing in the corporate world that I've not seen. I've coordinated a World Bank study for small-scale rice industries in the developing countries with Barendschot Moret Bosboom of the Netherlands.
Wow. Wow.
I used to spend hundreds of man-hours a year in boardrooms. So there's nothing that anybody can tell me about how educated they are, how smart they are, how rich they are that will faze me.
Okay, I want you to listen to something from Erufai.
El Rufai.
If a few days ago, he was boasting as if he does. I think he thinks that some of us are stupid, as a lot of he takes the whole of Nigeria to be. He was boasting that he can never pay bandits money. He will never pay bandits money.
But didn't he pay? Didn't
The
Kaduna
same
State
man,
government pay?
yeah, yeah. That's why I'm going to play that. I hope this system will make it loud enough for people to hear the hypocrites that there are in Nigeria, and how they are able to twist the brains of Nigerians, even when you present them with daunting evidence of their foolishness. Nigerians will still follow them like chicken. He was paying terrorists in Kaduna, and he justified it with the Bible and the Quran. Now his new one now is that he can't pay terrorists. Hold on, let me play it. I hope he really plays. Oh, let me see. Let me see.
But see, Rufai is an afterthought. This new push by Hausa is barely 3 years old. His mindset is still
Give them monthly. Okay, hold on. Let's play it. Please, just hold on. Listeners, now especially you Nigerians, listen, because there are some people who are like die-hard supporter of these terrorists. The man who imported the bandits, he imported the mercenaries into Nigeria because they wanted Buhari to be president of Nigeria by all means and at all costs. Listen to Nasiru El-Rufai. Two statements he made. One was when he was governor, and the second one was now that he wants the man that they have forced on the people of Nigeria out. Here, the hypocrite Nasiru El-Rufai. What I will not do, okay? Pay bandits, give them monthly allowance, or send food to them in the name of non-kinetic. It's nonsense. We offer them money. We say, look, if we have to pay, we don't teach our people. We're happy to do it. Compensation for life and property. Our foundation today in the Quran and the Bible. What I will not do, okay, is pay bandits, give them monthly allowance, or send food to them in the name of non-kinetic. It's nonsense. Did you hear that?
Buhari, El-Rufai is a has-been. See, the new galvanized movement in Hausa land did not start until Fulani terrorists came after them in full force with heinous activities to really hurt them. You know, in Hausa land, they're not just using their cattle to eat their crops. They are slitting their throats.
Yes.
And I still doubt it if it is true that they say that they are cannibals. They are eating their flesh. You know, before you eat human flesh, you must hate the person very bad. And it happened in Biafra. When we captured mercenaries, British mercenaries, the few times, they cut their meat while they were alive and, and roasted it. So for Hausa to be doing this, Fulani to be doing this to Hausa is very heinous. So
absolutely,
people like Rufai, Atiku Abubakar, they have they've been left in the train station because the Hausa they used to know, that they used to take advantage of, is no longer there. That Hausa is gone. Will never come back again. So whatever Rufai is saying now, he will not have that clout, that clout. And if somebody is asking me what I mean by the Nigerian press, the Nigerian press is run by Yoruba. They control the media in Nigeria. And their views, whether it is centrist or left wing or right wing, is the popular view. It may be the popular view, but it's not the practical view.
Okay, there's a.
Okay, go on.
Before we go, I know you had a long day, and I guess we are getting to the close of this show. But there is something that somebody sent to me. It's from that Jaruma Hausa TV 24.
Oh, bless those people.
All
Those
right.
are they're wonderful. If you understand Hausa and listen to them, you will
Yes.
cry.
Yes. I do understand some. So I lost some part of the Hausa but I'm getting back better now. I am studying Ugwumba because I want to be able to really speak in Hausa and make broadcast to them. We are going to be starting an Hausa ONN Hausa service. No, in no distant time, we are working on how we're going to the logistics and how to make it happen. We need some computers, we need some things. So whatever we broadcast, they're able to relay it in Hausa language to get to the people at the grassroots. So that's one big thing that we are working on right now. I'm letting it out to you. I wanted to make it as a surprise. When we come on air, you'll be hearing Hausa service of ONN. We are going to get that. We're going to reach every corner of Nigeria.
Don't eat
It's a lot
shake.
of work,
It's
but it can be done.
Like Hausa will say, they will say, don't eat shake. Anyway, hey,
Yeah,
yeah, you said it. Um, I have, if I tell you, well, I did tell you a little bit of my activities today. So,
yeah,
um, yeah, I've got to go put these bones up.
absolutely, absolutely. Well, before you go, let me quickly read that, and then you make a reaction to that, and then I'll let you go, and then you finish whatever you have to finish. He said there's this Arabic inscription, insignia in the Nigerian army logo, self-defense course by Nigerian chief of staff. Remove Arabic insignia in army logo to destroy Fulani diabolic power. All right. Hidden meaning of Arabic insignia in the logo used in the Nigerian army. Katumi Alombe Jitami hints at the federal government and the Nigerian army on how to win the fight against the Fulani terrorists in our beloved country. An indigenous man translated to English the revelation that the Hausa emancipator made in a TikTok live recording regarding the calls for the defense minister or defense chief or defense made by the chief of defense staff, Christopher Guabin Musa. She advises the federal government to remove the Arabic insignia in the Nigerian army logo. What is there any reason we should have an Arabic insignia? Actually, I've never really taken my time to look at it. Is it something new or it has always been there?
It has been there for since forever. You know, that is why I'm telling you, drawing attention to it and even asking for it to be removed, and it will be removed, can
You-
only be on the prompting of Hausa. A gentleman asked if I went to CIC Enugu. No, I went to Aquinas College, Akure.
Okay, good.
Yes, it's only Hausa that can save Nigeria because it is only Hausa that can dethrone Fulani. Once Fulani is dethroned, then we can begin to talk of one united Nigeria. I love Hausa. I can't do anything without Hausa. They are
Wow.
my friends. I trust them. I run an NGO in Kaduna
Wow.
that, as you know, that teaches, we're teaching Chinese.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
girl
yeah.
who the girl who teaches Chinese in our program, right?
Yes.
Her father, Labaran Ali, owned the largest electronics store in Kaduna. She
Wow.
studied physics education, smart as a whip,
Wow.
smart as a whip. She is our Chinese teacher for the
Wow.
kids. They're learning Chinese, they're learning English and reading. We spent, I spent, we spent a lot of money buying them every book on European history, European literature for
Wow.
kids to read. Because for you to be literate, you must understand Western education. We are teaching them penmanship with muscle memory, whereby you learn to trace and write letters the proper way, and after repetitive action, you can begin to write like that. They are
Yes.
going to, yes, they are learning computer keyboarding. And last but not the least, we're going to be introducing robotics.
Wow.
So, and then what we will be needing is uh, tertiary students in Kaduna, one for every 2 or 3 kids to help them with those little Legos and so on, where they can produce electricity from a potato, where they can, uh, you know, um, conduct experiments, um, build radios, and things like that.
Wow. Wow. Great job you are doing. So, Mr. Gumba, it's been such a great moment with you. Thank you very much for coming up. So at such a short notice that I gave to you, hey, we can do this tonight. And then you came up and you did a great job as always. So let me let you go and rest, and we talk later. Much love for you, my brother, man.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
All right, you take care.
All right, you too.
All right, bye bye. Yeah. Okay. Let me see. All right, listeners and viewers from Nigeria, across Africa, and around the world. This is Smart Madu Ajaja. We have been out here since the past 86 minutes, 42 seconds, having a chat here on our studios in Houston, Texas, United States, with our brother, great African, patriotic Nigerian, diehard Nigerian, who is doing so much. To wake Nigerians up. He's as patriotically aggressive. I don't know how best to describe him. And he's doing a lot of work. He was born in Kaduna, in the Sanibo man, born in Kaduna. He sees himself as an Hausa person. He loves the Hausa people. That's why he's so incensed by what is taking place, how the Hausa people have been subjugated for 221 years by Fulani elites with ties to Usman and Fodio, and for 64 years as citizens of Nigeria. So he's doing a lot to educate as many as he can. He has learning centers in Kaduna and Katsina states as well, training some Hausa children, and not just Hausa children, children in that part of the country, including some Fulanis, and then some Igbos, but a lot of Hausas, concentration, doing great things for them, teaching them different type of things, including Chinese, just as he stated. This guy is an amazing Nigerian, really amazing Nigerian. He's been looking for justice for Nigeria that took him into the Biafran army, as a young man who started asking questions at very early in his life, very early age in his life. So we're privileged to have him again today. We had him some 5 days ago, and he did a yeoman job like he did today. The reason we started this discussion today that became expansive, was because of Mr. Aliko Dangote, the man that is touted as Africa's richest man, living right now. And a lot of things, how he became rich, part of what featured and in the discussion. He didn't get rich as a result of his dint of hard work. He became rich because it's a privileged child of the Nigerian system, corrupt Nigerian system. So he has insiders who will destroy things, and then they will ask him to come and buy. And great things that are owned by the Nigerian government, like the Sokoto Cement Company that he bought at a giveaway with over 5,000 trucks or trailers. Yeah, that started running the business. In addition to government giving him money, can you imagine? How how government gave him money, after selling a government company for below its market value to him. They gave him money to restructure the company. So he went to sleep and was making money. And then that he took over the expansive cement importation business in Nigeria. he enjoyed this exclusive monopoly. He's very intolerant of opposition. He uses his men and forces inside the system to hold down, blackmail, intimidate, suppress and repress and oppress competition, and then they will run them out of business. There was this case of Ibeto Cement Company, from the east of Nigeria. The man was doing great, of cement would be within the reach of the common man, but they ran him out of business, shut him down for Dangote to be the sole uh, manufacturer. They say he manufactures. What he does was we import cement from outside Nigeria, and then at the port, in fact, he has purchased a huge part of the port. He owns it, or what? I don't know how to even say it. Then he will rebag cement and put his label on it. Then it becomes Dangote cement. Now, the most recent is the petroleum industry. Refineries. Nigeria has had four refineries. I tell you now that none of the four refineries is working. So insiders will make the refineries not work every time the Nigerian government is doing turnaround to nowhere, until eventually, it's a brand new refinery took over, and now Nigerians have to depend on him as the sole refiner of petroleum products in Nigeria. What kind of a country is that? A country where market forces do not determine the prices of goods and services, like we have it here in the United States. If he was here in the United States, he wouldn't enjoy that kind of unilateral monopoly over everything. So that is why we need some change. And people like that are very, very offended by the kind of message we preach, that access to opportunity should be extended to every Nigerian. So they hold Nigerians in the jugular. So whatever they like, they shove down the throats of Nigerians, and then we don't have a choice. And then you see the pattern of migration. You see, migration, the economy is twisted right now. The economy is head in the jugular that chokes the Nigerian young people, especially in some part of the country, that the only thing that they have to do is to leave the country. And then what is happening? When they leave, they create a vacuum. And then the vacuum now is being filled by strangers that we don't know anything about. And before soon, like the ones troubling the country now, everywhere in the country, armed with AK-47. Some decide to go inside the bush. Some operate like amphibians. They go between the bush and the communities, surveying who and where to attack. It's sad. That is what Nigeria is. Dangote's truck has been fingered as responsible for bringing foreigners, strangers into Nigeria, part of Nigeria, especially moving them southwest, where they are changing the population demography for sinister intentions. His trucks are involved. They bring them in quantum and dump them wherever they are. Then these people start oppressing and harassing and stealing, killing, maiming, and raping people in anywhere they are. This is the sad and very ugly story of Nigeria that requires all of us to stand up, to ask questions and do justice before it is too late. It's been such a great moment spending this time with you. For friends and watchers, viewers on YouTube and Facebook, thank you very much for joining these early morning programs. And I'm very happy that a lot of Nigerians from different parts of the world tuned in to be part of this program. So we appeal to you, if you have not subscribed to our channel, to do so and hit the notification button so that when we come on stream, you'll be one of the first to be notified. And again, you see, our work is almost 1 a.m. here right now. We do a lot of things in addition to, working. I go do a lot of Nigerian things, conferences, online things, doing supporting people in Nigeria, expanding this mission. So if for any reason you want to support us by, buying super tanks to help us expand our mission, reach more people, sharing our message, commenting so that YouTube and TikTok will continue to recommend us. Also, Facebook will continue to recommend us. We will simply very much deeply and sincerely appreciate you guys. Thank you very much for joining us. And we love you and look forward to seeing you in our next stream that is coming. Our next stream that is coming on Saturday is going to be here. The man that we're going to be interviewing will be Dr. Leonard Nzemwa, the ex-national chairman of the African Action Congress, AAC. Yes, on the state of the nation. It's something that's going to be explosive too, just as this was. I look forward to seeing you on Saturday, and it's going to be happening at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time here. That is 4 p.m. Nigerian time, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard, and 9 a.m. Pacific. We look forward to seeing you wherever you are on earth. Just join us as always and keep us making us proud by subscribing and expanding our message to Nigerians and people of the world within your space. Bye for now. And I love you guys. It's Smart Mado Ajaja, convener of Open Nigeria and Africa Unite, and the anchor of Matters Arising and Nigeria Now at ONN. Bye and good morning.